You know these amazing AIs like GPT or Gemini? Ever stop and wonder how they actually work? It feels like straight-up magic, right? Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain and demystify the powerful engine behind it all, and it's called the Transformer.
I mean, think about it. How can an AI just write a poem or a full-on research report in just a few seconds? You type in a few words and bam, out comes this perfectly written text. It's wild. So what is going on under the hood that makes this even possible?
Okay, get ready for this because the answer is almost disappointingly simple. At its heart, at its very core, this whole thing is basically just a super fancy machine that does one thing, and one thing only. It predicts the next word.
Yep, that's it. So how does that simple idea lead to something so powerful? Well, that's what we're going to break down. We'll start with this whole next word prediction thing. Then we'll see how words get turned into numbers the computer can understand. After that, we'll get to the real secret sauce, a concept called attention. And then we'll put it all together to see how it builds a full response, and finally, how it learns in the first place.
All right, so let's zoom out. The whole process is this really elegant, simple loop. The AI gets some text, right? It looks at it, processes it, and then just predicts the single most likely word to come next. Then, and this is the key part, it takes that new word it just predicted, tacks it onto the end of the input, and does the whole thing all over again.
And that's where the magic really happens. That simple loop, just repeating over and over and over, one single word at a time, is how it builds everything, from a simple sentence to, a super complex piece of code or a research paper. It sounds way too simple to be true, but that is literally how it works.
Okay, so first things first, we got to remember, computers don't understand English or French or any human language for that matter. They only speak one language. Numbers. So the absolute first step is to turn our words into numbers that the machine can actually crunch. And this whole process kicks off with something called tokenization.
So how do you do that? I mean, you could try to give every single word in the dictionary its own number, but can you imagine how huge that list would be? Totally inefficient. So what about the other extreme? Maybe just number each letter. Well, that doesn't work either because you completely lose the meaning. The letters C, A, and T on their own don't mean cat.
So the solution here is actually pretty clever. It's this perfect middle ground called subword tokenization. Instead of whole words or single letters, it breaks words down into common, meaningful chunks. Think about a word like unhappy. It gets split into un and happy. This keeps the total vocabulary size way more manageable. And this is the really cool part, it lets the model figure out new words it's never even seen before just by recognizing the pieces. Okay, so now we've got our tokens, but right now they're just, ID numbers. They don't have any actual meaning yet. That's where the next step, embeddings, comes in. Each of those tokens gets turned into a long list of numbers. We call this a vector. The best way to think about it is like coordinates on a gigantic map. And on this map, words with similar meanings get placed close to each other. So king and queen would be neighbors, and walking and running would be in the same part of town.
And listen, when I say a long list of numbers, I'm not kidding. For a big model like GPT-3, a single word is represented by a vector with, wait for it, over 12,000 numbers. It's insane. Each one of those numbers captures some tiny, subtle aspect of that word's meaning.
All right, but there's one more big problem we have to solve. For efficiency, the model looks at all the words in a sentence at the same time. But that means it has no idea what order they're in. To the model, the dog bit the cat looks exactly the same as the cat bit the dog, which, is a pretty big difference. So, to fix this, we use something called positional encoding. It's basically like adding a unique numerical fingerprint to each word that says, hey, I'm the first word, I'm the second word, and so on. This way, the model always knows the sequence.
Okay, so we've turned words into numbers and we've sorted out the word order. Now we get to the real heart of the transformer, the secret sauce. This is the big revolutionary idea that changed everything. It's what lets the AI actually understand context, and it's called the attention mechanism.
So how does attention work? Well, for every single word, the model creates 3 new special vectors. It helps to think of it like a little Q&A session happening inside the AI. You have the query, which is one word asking a question like, hey everyone, who here is important to me? Then you have the key, which is every other word raising its hand and saying, this is what I'm about, this is my label. And finally, you have the value, which is that same word saying, and if you think I'm relevant, here's the juicy information I have to offer.
And what you're seeing here is basically the result of that Q&A. The model crunches the numbers and calculates a relevance score between every single word and every other word. So if we look at the sentence, I go to work,
The word work pays a lot of attention to the word I, because it needs to know who is going to work. It also pays attention to itself just to keep its own meaning in focus.
But wait, it gets even cooler. The model doesn't just do this once. It uses something called multi-head attention. The best way to picture this is like having a whole team of expert analysts all examining the same sentence at the same time. Maybe one analyst is an expert in grammar and looks for subjects and verbs. Another one is an expert in figuring out what pronouns like it or they refer to. They all do their own analysis in parallel, and then their findings are all combined to create this incredibly rich, multi-layered understanding of the text.
Now, after all this super complex analysis, there's a small danger. The model could kind of lose the plot. It could forget the original, basic meaning of the words it started with. That's where a step called add a norm comes in. You can think of it like a safety feature. It basically takes the original, untouched vector for the word and adds it back to the newly processed one. It's a simple shortcut that makes sure the model never forgets where it came from, as it gets deeper and deeper into its analysis.
Okay, so at this point, our model has taken in the text and, thanks to attention, it has a really deep understanding of the context. So now what? How does it actually use that understanding to predict the next word and build out a whole response? Well, all those steps we just talked about, the attention part, the add a norm safety net, and another little layer for some extra thinking time, they all get bundled together into what's called a decoder block. And what these big AI models do is just stack these blocks one on top of the other, sometimes dozens of them. Each layer takes the output from the one below it and builds an even more sophisticated understanding.
All right, let's walk through a quick example to see it in action. Let's say you type in the prompt, I go to work by. That whole phrase gets fed into the machine and goes through all those layers and decoder blocks we just discussed.
So after it passes all the way through the stack, the final super contextualized vector for the very last word, in this case by, is sent to one last layer. And the job of this final layer is to look at that vector and produce a probability score for every single word the model knows. And in this case, let's say the word with the highest score, the most probable next word, is bus.
And here we go, we're back to the beginning of the loop. The model takes its own prediction, bus, and just sticks it on the end of the input. So now the new input is, I go to work by bus. And that entire new sentence gets fed back into the machine for the next round to predict the next word. And it just keeps doing this over and over until it decides the sentence is finished.
So that's the mechanics of how a model works once it's already trained. But that brings up the biggest question of all, right? How did it get so smart in the first place? How does it actually learn all this stuff? Grammar, facts about the world, how to reason?
This is really the crucial difference between using an AI and training one. When we're using it, all its internal numbers are frozen. But when it's being trained, it starts out as basically a giant, useless pile of random numbers. Seriously. It gets fed a sentence, it makes a completely random guess for the next word, and of course, it's wrong. But then it calculates how wrong it was, and it makes tiny, tiny little adjustments to all those random numbers to be just a little bit less wrong next time. Now, imagine doing that process. Guess, check, adjust. Billions and billions of times, with a massive chunk of the entire internet as your textbook. Slowly but surely, that pile of random numbers starts to organize itself into a model that actually understands the patterns of our language.
And that brings us full circle. It all comes back to this one idea. Attention is all you need. That was the actual title of the incredible 2017 research paper from Google that first introduced the transformer. And it was that single powerful concept that a model could use attention to look at a whole sentence at once and figure out how every word relates to every other word that really kicked off the AI revolution we're seeing right now. It's an amazing idea, and it turns out, when it comes to understanding language, attention really is all you need.